Welcome to the American Contractor Show, the show that's all about American contractors living the American dream. I'm your host, John Dye. Each episode will introduce you to contractors just like you who have beaten the odds and leveled up their game to become the dominant force in their markets. Together, we'll explore the tools and tactics that unlock the secrets to their success. Join me as we begin the journey that leads to the realization of your American dream. And guys, welcome to the October 1st edition of the American Contractor Show. I'm your host, John Dye. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. It's so good to have you guys here. And it's exciting because we are on the first day of fourth quarter 2020. Can you guys believe it? Fourth quarter 2020 is here today. And that means that there's a lot of stuff that's going on. A lot of companies are going into hyper drive mode here where they're trying to get all their cash flow set up. They're trying to make sure that they get all their things in line. And there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of changes. And I'm really excited about that because for a lot of people, fourth quarter 2020, that means that 2020 is almost over, which a lot of people are excited about in and of itself, because this has been one of the most insane years we've ever had. I mean, this has been unpredictable. No one thought for a second that we would have a massive global pandemic hit us right in the middle of the year, or that all the things that have happened, but it is what it is. We are moving forward. I'm excited. A lot of contractors have had great years. Some contractors have struggled, but at the end of the day, like, this is where we are right now. And I think that even if you've failed, or you've not necessarily failed, but even if you've done less than what you thought you were going to do, or you've had to endure some hardship through this time, that's okay. That means that, it's a great opportunity for us to learn, to grow, to become better, and ultimately become better contractors and better versions of ourselves. So thank you so much for tuning in today and for being a part of this episode. And I'm really excited today because we have some really good guests with us. I have Ryan Holliday here with Iink, and I'm excited about what he's going to talk about, because especially in the fourth quarter, we're going to be there's some things that you need to think about in your business right now that maybe you haven't been thinking about up until now. And as we go through this process and you guys start to change your businesses and start to wrap things up for the year, especially for those of you guys that are more seasonal, there's some things when it comes to cash flow where it gets really important. And I'm excited that Ink's here to share some of their stuff, because cash flow is extremely important. And so we're going to talk about that today. I want to really quickly, though, give a huge shout out to our sponsors today, to Atlas, Contractor Coach Pro, Hail Trace, C3 Group, RoofScope, the Catalyst Group, for making this show possible, making it an opportunity for you guys to learn and grow. All of those sponsors that I just listed, they really care about what you guys are doing. I know Jim Johnson's getting ready to host an amazing event. If you guys haven't heard about his Strategy 2021 event that's coming up, it's going to be amazing. Atlas has been putting out tons of content for contractors to help them grow their businesses and be a part of them. They are the premier partner vendor space when it comes to manufacturers. If you guys are looking for a manufacturer that's going to partner with you, they are a great solution. We also, RoofScope is doing some awesome stuff with their latest offerings when it comes to the technology side of things. If you guys need measurements and want to save time, check them out. And always remember my friends at C3 Group, they are killing the game right now when it comes to public adjusting. They are really doing some awesome stuff. We've gotten the chance to talk to Mike Lindhurst pretty intensively here in the last few weeks, and we've also talked to Tony Rolfs and Matt Behrens and all the stuff that they're doing. That's awesome, and so thanks to all of them for making this possible. But without further ado, let's talk to our buddy here, to Ryan Holliday with Iink, because he's got some really awesome stuff going on. And I get really excited when Ryan comes around, because Ryan's got one of the most fascinating minds and brilliant minds in our industry. And so, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today, bro. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
Yeah, I'm excited about this conversation, because I know that what you guys do is really, really unique and really awesome for contractors. And this is one of the most difficult areas because cash flow is tough as it is. Even if you're running a retail organization or an insurance organization or whatever you're doing, commercial, a lot of times the cash flow is tied up by third parties that we cannot control. And that's one of the most difficult parts of it, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. We deal with that day in and day out. And, our professional service takes that off your hands. It really allows you to spend your time a little bit more wisely, a little bit more effectively, and working on things that are going to help grow your business, not just chasing your money. There are still, antiquated processes that enterprise level companies engage in, and we still have to deal with, like paper mail and paper checks. But here at Iink, we see a future where checks can be digitized entirely and no paper needs to be used. So that's what we're working on.
Well, let's talk about this for a minute. So the problem you guys found, and this is a problem that a lot of contractors have, specifically in the insurance restoration space. I'm not familiar if this is a problem in the retail space as well. It might be when it comes to financing. But essentially, a homeowner's written a check from an insurance carrier for X amount of dollars. And a lot of times, because of the way that those insurance policies are structured with the banks, the mortgage company gets included on that check, correct?
That's right. Any insurance check over $2,500 where the insured has a mortgage on the property, typically that mortgage company or multiple mortgage companies, if they have a second and third mortgage, will be included as a payee on that check.
So what's the typical process look like for a contractor to get that mortgage company to endorse that check, which means they've signed it off, they've given the contractor permission to use those funds essentially, right?
Yeah, I mean, the homeowner typically gets the check first, or the property owner, and they realize that, oh, my mortgage company's on this, what do I do? So they'll call their mortgage company and let their mortgage company know what's going on. Mortgage company will sometimes mail them documents to complete and then mail back with the check. And that process alone could take a week or more. But nonetheless, the claim is opened, so to speak, with the mortgage company. And sometimes the contractors have someone internally that'll do the same thing and fill out the paperwork, call up the mortgage company, chase the money. Maybe they have an internal admin, but it has to be done. And whether it's done by the homeowner or the property owner and or the contractor or the salesperson or the admin in the office, somebody is putting together that paperwork and mailing that check off to the mortgage company.
So when they're making these, they're having to physically mail the check to the mortgage company. Then the mortgage company is having to sign that check. A lot of times they're requiring lots of documentation and other stuff. So typically you're looking at what? How long does it take for that process to unfold?
I would say in best case scenario, the process could take 3 to 4 weeks to get those funds back. But a month to wait for your funds after you've had an insured loss to your home or your property is quite a long time, especially once the insurance company has already said, yep, we're going to pay for these damages. But we've seen extreme cases for some customers and heard that it can take up to 4 to 6 months if you don't know what you're doing and things are slipping through the cracks.
Which is a massive amount of time to be waiting on funds to be released from a third party, mortgage company that really doesn't even, at the end of the day, they're just doing this to verify that the work is going to get done, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And while we've been building Iink, we've kept every stakeholder in mind. We understand the problem because being in the insurance restoration industry for the last several years, I experienced it firsthand. Our other co-founder, Ken Lawler, he's a public insurance adjuster, and same thing with him. He was chasing the money about a third of his week, and just solving that problem electronically has been a challenge, but making sure that it's not just one-sided towards the contractor, the PA, or the insured. We understand the needs of the mortgage companies as well and their investors, but tying all those pieces together has been fun.
That's fascinating to me because I didn't know that public adjusters were dealing with the same problem that the contractors were dealing with as well. I always assumed that public adjusters had some sort of like highway that just like sent them the money a lot faster, and they had that in their escrow account way quicker than it takes for contractors.
Attorneys may, but public adjusters um, don't always have that luxury. And in a lot of cases, they don't receive their fee until the funds have been fully released from the mortgage company and made green to the insured.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I just wasn't aware that that was the way it works. So this is a massive problem though, because this is taking money, tying it up for weeks at a time, and making this a very difficult situation. Now, I've seen other, I've seen some things that try to help contractors, some solutions out there, but I want to talk about specifically what you guys are doing to fix this problem, because you guys have come up with something that's completely revolutionary, in my opinion. That is it's a game changer for contractors.
Yeah, I would agree, and I'm very excited about the new services that we have come to the platform. Initially we started out, like I said, with our professional service, and you know, taking that off your plate, just the processing end of it can be helpful, and it is helpful for all the companies that we work with now. But the new features are really exciting. The first one is called Iink Now, and Iink Now is just like it sounds. It'll be access to your funds immediately, so that you don't have to wait for the check to go off to the mortgage company and process and get back. We can verify everything and have those funds made available to you and put in your bank account within 24 hours. And then we also have another feature called Iink Payments that's going to help with just endorsement of the check, even if the mortgage company is involved, or maybe they're not involved, and you have a customer that lives an hour away and there's multiple signatures on that check. Well, rather than sending a salesperson out to get the signatures and then bring the check back and take it to the bank, that check can be digitally uploaded to our platform, digitally signed, and deposited right into your account as a convenience. So anything that's going to help save time, save money, and really get those funds moved as quickly as possible, so that you can start or finish your job and the property owner can get back to whole as quickly as possible. That's our goal.
So what is this? So this is all a digital service. You guys can basically take these different endorsements, different checks, do all the legwork electronically, which seems like such a like it should have been done years ago, and it's just like just now catching up to us. Because I mean, that's essentially what you guys are doing, correct?
Yes, and everyone asks that, why hasn't this been done sooner? It's a very challenging solution to an easy problem. That's the best way I can explain it. Some of the things that we're doing now, and some of the regulations that we're needing to meet, becoming a financial services company, are a lot more than just where we were. You can be a third-party administrator, or you can offer this as a value add to your service, and you can handle it internally. You can handle it the same way that we do, if you like. Some companies, I'm sure, are even pretty good at it. But at the end of the day, the new features that we're releasing are, direct ties through to the Federal Reserve with the transactions that we're putting through. We are fortunate enough to have banking partners that are allowing us to complete parts of this process that simply can't be done the normal way that it is now. And with that come a lot of compliance and legal things that we needed to get checked off the list. But we're not just a TPA anymore. We're not just a service. We're becoming a full-fledged, like I said, financial services company.
Yeah, but which I think for contractors, this is a really important element in your business, because if your guys are having to do all this additional legwork, I mean, the amount of manpower that takes, the amount of time it takes to go through all this process, where with you guys, it's just like one and done. It's a lot simple. It's a lot simpler. What's the average turnaround time when they use you guys right now with your current service?
So right now, I would say it's right around 2 weeks, maybe 3. It did increase a little bit because of COVID, if you can imagine, when the country is in turmoil, the servicing departments at the mortgage companies are backed up, and lost draft, which is the department that deals with insurance check endorsements, is part of servicing. But most of their servicing efforts has been focused on loss mitigation and helping people right now that need help during this pandemic and during this crisis. So you can experience with some of the banks 3-hour hold times. I don't know if you have 3 hours, John, or contractors have 3 hours to sit on the phone on hold just to wait until they get through to someone and find out what's going on with their payments. But we have systems set up and processes in place where we're able to be productive while we're staying on hold, but paying attention to strictly that. And although we're not doing anything too much further from what you can experience if you're really efficient at it now, we are not letting anything slip through the cracks. We're on top of it, all day, every day. It's all we focus on. So we can ensure that the fastest those funds are going to be in and out of the mortgage company, it's going to happen with us for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's the vital part of it right now, especially going into Q4. Using your time wisely. I think it was one of my friends on Facebook today, and someone I've heard him say this several times. I think it was Mike Code said, you can always what's more valuable, time or money? And for a lot of people, money isn't as valuable as time, because you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And the fact that if this is tying up your business and tying up not only your cash flow, but your time for your people to be doing other things, this is a massively great solution for them. Is Iink now, is that a live thing now? Do you guys have that going?
We're finalizing bank testing, and we're starting to onboard some of our existing customers right now as beta users for the service. So we have tested a couple transactions and movement of the money. Believe it or not, we have about 8 different accounts that we're moving things around just to keep track of everything with our ledgering system. But nonetheless, we are just testing everything right now and almost ready to get rolling. So,
in its ideal state for Iink now, what does that really look like? Because I think that's a really cool product as well, because that gives you instant access, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's going to cost a little bit more than our existing service, but you have the money right now, and Iink Payments is also included in that. Iink Payments is a standalone convenience service for $10 a check, but if you're using Iink Professional or Iink Now, it's included. So, whereas before we're simply taking this process off of your hands, giving some of your time back, and some people say, well, I can take care of that, or I have someone that takes care of that. Well, great. Well, now you can have your money right now. Now your salesman doesn't have to run out and pick up that check. Now, things are moving the way that you want them to move, and to the beat of your drum, not the bank's. And that's all possible with Iink Now and Iink Payments. But it'll be quite simply, John, a platform where you'll be able to log in and have a dashboard where you see your available balance. You can have that withdrawn out to your bank automatically, another bank, if you will. And in the future, we intend to have the capability of paying industry vendors, through the platform as well, and even paying your contractors, your salespeople, directing those funds any which way that you need to in order to keep your business moving. But we're keeping it as user friendly as possible, and that's also been a challenge for a system that I think is on the back end maybe a little bit complicated, but on the front end we want to keep it just very simple and easy to use.
No, I think it's a great product, and I think what you guys are doing is really fascinating to us, and I really appreciate you guys taking this problem and finding the solution for it, because it's not a simple problem. This is a complex issue where a third party literally is controlling and putting a bottleneck on businesses across the country, and they're kind of, contractors as a whole are just kind of stuck in this situation where they can't really move one way or another, because it just is what it is. You have to wait. And so, you guys coming up with a solution, putting this together, it's exciting, and it's good to see that these types of solutions are coming to the industry, because they're needed. There's so many bottlenecks, and there's things that are just holding us up, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, John. And we're excited to help, happy to help. And, we want to see contractors succeed.
Yeah, I know you guys do, and I appreciate you, Ryan, and for what you're doing. If you guys haven't had a chance to hang out with Ryan, if you see him at an event, I'm not sure where you guys, what you guys are planning to go to next, but you guys need to stop in and hang out with this guy because he's got one of the most brilliant minds in our industry. I've been fortunate enough to spend time with you, and I always appreciate your input in what you guys do.
Well, thank you so much, John. And we will be at RoofCon here in a couple weeks. So anyone that's heading out to RoofCon, stop by our booth 407. We're going to be there all three founding partners and one of our advisors is going to be there. So it's going to be a great time. You get to talk shop with our top nerds and, let's work on solving some of that insurance AR for you.
Well, awesome, man. I can't wait to see you then in a couple weeks. And I hope everything else is going well, but thank you so much for doing this today.
Thanks so much for having me on, John. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Ryan. So, folks, that was Ryan Holliday with Iink. Go see him at RoofCon, spend some time with them, get to know what they're doing because they are revolutionizing the cash flow game when it comes to mortgage endorsements, which I'm telling you is one of the most frustrating parts of your business that maybe you don't even realize how much it's really holding you back. But talk to your office people, talk to your office managers, find out what is really, because it doesn't matter if you're in sales or if you're the owner or whatever else, this is holding up your commissions, this is holding up your payments, this is holding up your cash, and this is one of the areas that they can help you and give you some great solutions, especially right now. Like I said, we're going into Q4, guys. This is it. This is grind time. This is the end of the season. These types of things are what's going to make or break your year. Don't let a silly mortgage endorsement be something that holds you up. So check them out. By the way, folks, I really appreciate you joining us today. Really huge thank you to Atlas, C3 Group, Contractor Coach Pro, Hail Trace, Roof Scope for sponsoring these episodes, making the American Contractor Show a thing, making it a reality. This is all about you guys. If there's things that you guys want to hear about, make sure to hit us up in the comments. Let us know. Send us emails. We've gotten some great ideas from you guys already, and we continue to push forward as we help the industry progress, help you guys scale your businesses and grow and become better as contractors. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see you guys on Tuesday for the next episode of the American Contractor Show. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching today's show. Make sure to like and subscribe our pages so that you can stay up to date with every episode. And by the way, this show is all about you, the American Contractor. Be sure to comment, let us know what you want to hear about and what subjects you want us to touch on. We'll be sure to include them in a future episode. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day.